Hey guys, welcome to another video here on the Report Vikings channel. Today's topic is hot, controversial, and could change the course of one of the most interesting franchises in the NFL today, the Minnesota Vikings. The question that everyone wants to ask is, will they be signing a Super Bowl champion quarterback? And no, we're not talking about Aaron Rodgers. We're talking about none other than Joe Flacco. Yes, that's right. The veteran who has already lifted the Vince Lombardi trophy and who could be about to wear the purple and gold of the Vikings. Let's start with the current situation of the franchise. The Minnesota Vikings let Sam Darnold leave in free agency, something that was already expected by most fans and analysts. With that, all eyes are now on J.J. McCarthy, rookie quarterback chosen in the first round of the draft, coming from the University of Michigan. McCarthy is a promising talent, without a doubt. He has good reads, a strong arm, mobility, and a winning history in college football. The problem is that despite all this potential, he is still a gamble. It is worth remembering that he spent his entire rookie season sidelined due to a knee injury, and now he will make his first NFL start. It is a delicate transition, and here comes the dilemma. Can the Vikings, a team that is not in rebuilding mode, afford to depend exclusively on such a young and inexperienced quarterback who has not even made his professional debut yet? The most likely answer is no. Minnesota is a team with good offensive pieces, an evolving defense, and a coach who has already shown himself to be competent. In other words, it is a team that wants to compete. They need stability at the most important position in the game, the quarterback. From that point on, rumors began to emerge, Mike, and of course the American press does not waste time. One of the first names mentioned was Aaron Rodgers. And let's be honest, it would be quite a headline. Rodgers, the Vikings' historic rival during his time with the Packers, now leading Minnesota's offense. But let's be realistic. This possibility is extremely unlikely. Rodgers is recovering from an Achilles tendon injury, he still has a contract with the Jets, and everything indicates that he wants to turn things around there, not to mention the cost of this operation, which would be very high. So as much as his name attracts attention, the chance is very small. Now, there is another name circulating behind the scenes that makes much more sense. And this is where things get interesting. Joe Flacco. That's right, the veteran quarterback, Super Bowl champion with the Baltimore Ravens, is on the free market and could be exactly what the Vikings need in this moment of transition. Flacco proved last year that he can still play at a high level. He joined the Cleveland Browns in the middle of the season, at a time when no one expected anything from him, and simply led the team with confidence, experience, and, believe it or not, even offensive explosion. In just 7 games, he threw for 1,761 yards and 12 touchdowns. Impressive numbers for someone who had been out of the spotlight for a long time. And we can't ignore his solid career. He's thrown for more than 49,000 yards, 283 touchdowns, and 17 seasons in the league. Not to mention, of course, the Super Bowl he won with the Ravens, where he was simply impeccable in the playoffs. But why would signing him make so much sense for the Vikings? Because Joe Flacco wouldn't arrive with the pressure of being the absolute starter. The idea would be to have an experienced quarterback who can take over if McCarthy isn't ready yet, which is quite possible considering the lack of game rhythm after an entire season out. In addition, Flacco could act as a mentor, someone who has seen it all in the NFL and can help a lot in McCarthy's development on and off the field. This kind of veteran presence in the locker room is invaluable, especially when you have a young talent like McCarthy who needs to learn quickly. It's worth remembering that, currently, the immediate backup on the Vikings roster is Brett Rypien. Nothing against him, but let's be honest, he's not the kind of name that inspires confidence if he has to take over as the starter for a few weeks. If McCarthy starts off poorly, or even worse, suffers another injury, the Vikings need someone who can keep the team competitive, and Flacco offers that. In addition to the technical factor, there's the psychological factor. Having a quarterback like Joe Flacco on the roster can take some of the pressure off McCarthy's shoulders. He knows he has someone reliable there if things go off the rails. This allows the youngster to play more freely without fear of making mistakes, knowing that the franchise is protected. So, analyzing the scenario as a whole, a team that wants to win now, a rookie quarterback returning from injury, a weak reserve on the roster, and a veteran winner available on the market. The equation seems simple. The Vikings' signing of Joe Flacco is not only logical, but it could be the smartest move of the offseason. And now I want to know from you, does Joe Flacco still have the energy left in him? Would you, Vikings fan, like to see this name arrive in Minnesota to support J.J. McCarthy, or would you prefer the team to bet everything on the rookie's development without looking back? Comment below with your thoughts, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss any content about what's happening in the NFL. The 2025 season promises to be great. And if it depends on the Vikings, it will be electrifying. We're with you guys. See you in the next video. Now we're going to talk about a name that could stir up the NFL behind the scenes, especially at the Minnesota Vikings. We're talking about cornerback Jack Jones, who is about to be officially released by the Raiders. And the question that remains is, are the Vikings still interested in this talented but also controversial player? Let's get straight to the point. According to several reports in the American press, the Raiders were unable to find a partner to trade Jack Jones and should officially release him on Monday. And although this may seem like just another normal off-season move, there's a detail in this case that catches the attention of Vikings fans. Minnesota has already tried to sign Jones in the past. That's right, in November 2023 when he was released by the Patriots, the Vikings filed a waiver request to try to add him to the roster. The problem is that the Raiders had priority in the queue and ended up getting him. In other words, the interest already existed, and it wasn't by chance. Jack Jones is a 27-year-old player who, despite his ups and downs, has a very interesting history in the NFL. He was a fourth-round pick by the Patriots in the 2022 draft, and since then has shown flashes of talent that few cornerbacks can show so early in their careers. To give you an idea, he has already managed 7 interceptions in just 3 seasons, and most impressively, 4 of them were returned for touchdowns. That's right, he is the kind of defender who not only steals the ball but also puts points on the scoreboard. Last season with the Raiders, he started 16 games and had 16 passes defended, 3 interceptions and 3 tackles for loss. These are solid numbers for a starting cornerback, but, as always, there is another side to the coin. Despite this impact on the field, Jack Jones's performance in 2024 was not the best according to PFF Analysis, the famous Pro Football Focus. He received a 53.9 grade, which ranks him 83rd out of 92 cornerbacks who played at least 500 snaps this season. And that's not all. He allowed 10 touchdowns in coverage, tied for the most in the NFL, and also had 15 missed tackles. Those numbers raise red flags about his consistency and reliability as a regular starter. But wait, because it's not just on the field that Jack Jones's name is causing debate. He's also had issues off the field. In June 2023, for example, he was arrested for carrying 2 firearms in his carry-on bag at an airport, an episode that raised concerns about his off-field conduct and even his professional maturity. That combination of talent and risk is what makes this potential signing so intriguing. Now let's take a look at the Vikings' current roster. The team's cornerback room has some interesting names. Byron Murphy Jr. and Isaiah Rodgers are the projected starters for 2025, and we also have Mekhi Blackman, Jeff Okudah, Tavierre Thomas, and the young Dwight McGlothern. It's a promising group, but it's not yet fully consolidated. In other words, there's room for reinforcements, especially an explosive player like Jack Jones for sure. In addition, signing him would not impact the draft's compensatory pick formula at all, since he would be added via waivers. This is important when it comes to strategic roster planning. What's more, Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings have already faced Jones on the field and know what he's capable of. In last year's preseason, he even intercepted a pass from J.J. McCarthy at US Bank Stadium. They know his talent up close, so the question the Vikings will have to answer internally is Jack Jones's potential impact worth the risk he represents? The answer depends on many factors, especially the market. If there is little interest in him and the price is affordable, it could be a calculated risk move that yields a huge return. But if the competition grows or the price is too high, it might be wiser to continue betting on the development of the young players already on the roster. What is certain is that Jones continues to be a name that deserves attention, especially given the Vikings' history of interest. He may not be a big signing, but he could be that one-time reinforcement that changes the level of the secondary if he fits well into Brian Flores' defensive scheme. And now I want to hear from you. Do you think the Vikings should go after Jack Jones again? Is his talent worth the risks, or would it be better to stay away from this ticking time bomb? Leave your opinion here in the comments. We want to know what you would do if you were in the Minnesota board's shoes. If you liked this video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss any NFL updates. The 2025 season is coming with everything, and here you will stay up to date with everything that happens on and off the field. Thanks for watching. We're together, and until next time.